Hey everybody, it's Scott Steen with winnersandwhiners.com coming to you with the Thursday edition of Today in Sports Betting. We're doing an MLB style 4 playoff games on tap for you today. And pretty exciting stuff, Scott. We've got 4 games, 4 lines, but only 2 pitchers in 2 of the games. We've got one pitcher for each in 2 games that we're going to talk about here. So let's get started with the early game, the 2:08 Eastern time game between the Atlanta Braves and those plucky fish, the Miami Marlins. Kyle Wright goes for the Braves against your boy, Scott Sixto Sanchez, going for Miami. Your thoughts on this one, buddy? It's a big, it's probably the closest spread that we've had. The Braves minus 126, Miami plus 116.
Yeah, the truth is that I'm not exactly thrilled by how close the spread is because I was thinking about doing something with the Marlins team total. But it's over or under 3.5 at roughly minus 135. Maybe you can find a little bit cheaper somewhere else. Truth is that Atlanta's just a better overall team. It's not really a surprise to anybody. The Marlins have been a great Cinderella story, and perhaps maybe they can circle the wagons for one game, kind of like what Oakland did in their respective series against the Astros yesterday. But Kyle Wright, not very good. Sixto was struggling down the stretch, but he had a really solid start against Chicago in the first round of the playoffs. Looking through the actual just spot here, I don't really want anything to do with the Braves team total because I actually do like Sixto a lot. Kyle Wright has been better lately, still not very good. So it really depends on if you have any Kyle Wright stock left. I feel like most people don't because he's not very good. It's juicy, but I'm going to take it. I'm going to go with the Marlins team total over 3.5.
All right, yeah, that's pretty solid. Kyle Wright, he's had a rough season, but 5.21 ERA. You're right. He has pitched better his last 2 times out. He faced the Mets and the Boston Red Sox.
Well, if you face the Mets, does that really count? No, I'm joking.
I understand. Pitched into the 7th each time and given up just two earned total in those 2 games in 12 and 13 innings. However, Miami has pummeled him twice so far this season.
Miami is also the home team, so you're losing an at-bat there, which doesn't help. But do you see any value elsewhere besides maybe just holding your nose and taking the Braves because they're just a better team? Because I don't know how – because Miami, even though you might not be fully in on Sixto as much as I am, Miami definitely has a starting pitching advantage here in this matchup. So do you swallow your nose and just take the Braves because they're the better overall team? Because the line is cheap.
I go the other way. I take plus money with the better pitcher.
For first 5 or full game?
Full game.
Okay.
Full game.
I'm just going to go with the team total over because there is a chance that Sixto could revert back to his end of regular season self where Atlanta just goes, oh, Acuna and Freeman are going to both hit home runs and go nuts. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, here's the thing. You got to hold your nose and bet on that Miami bullpen because you want to bet the Marlins first 5. You're laying minus 120, buddy.
Yeah.
So this game is all about the back half and what that bullpen can do if they can keep the Braves in check for the entire game, and that is going to be the question.
Yeah.
You know what? I don't hate the over 9. I think that's fair value.
Okay.
Braves get theirs late. Miami gets theirs early.
I'm assuming you're also with me like your favorite play, so to speak. It's juicy, but the Marlins team total over 3.5.
Yeah, I like that too. I don't see any way they don't get to 4 runs against Kyle Wright.
They should.
I totally agree. This should be a fun game. There's definitely some angles there.
Well, the Braves are a fun team to watch, so that wouldn't surprise me.
They're very good. They're a very good team. You know, Miami. If ever there was a definition of a team that's playing on house money, it's the Marlins, man. Nobody expected anything out of that team, including this show. We picked them to be quite possibly the worst team in baseball when we did our preview. So
they were definitely up there. It was either them or Baltimore or even Detroit. It was one of the 3.
Seattle we talked about as well too.
Yeah, Seattle we talked about, but we thought the division was so bad they would find some wins here or there.
Yeah, and that ended up being the case. As they ended up finishing, they finished 3rd in that division, didn't they?
4th. I believe the Angels passed them late in the year.
The Angels finally get past them. I know they were fighting it out with the Angels there at the end.
I think Texas got last though. I think that definitely happened.
Oh, that team just was dreadful down the stretch.
Yeah,
and that's the thing. You look at this series in Globe Life Park. I mean, not this one, but you see they don't score runs in Globe Life Park, and you have no idea if it's the park or if it's just the Texas Rangers being so terrible at offense.
Well, I made that joke to you about Petco because of the fact that it's been a pitcher's ballpark for years. As soon as the Padres actually have a good lineup, all the games have gone over, and even the playoffs, every game in Petco's gone over. So I don't know if something's going on there, but it's a small sample size. But don't you think it's a little bit odd that for a shortened season and the playoffs, Petco has been an over machine up to this point?
Yeah, well, it's the same with Dodger Stadium. They've just been crushing the ball at Dodger Stadium.
Well, they're also playing day games over there.
That's a huge difference, man. When that marine layer comes in at night, it makes all the difference in the world.
That's what I'm saying. You've been playing night games at Petco, and they're still flying over.
Yeah, that's definitely true. All right, so let's move on, Scott. Taking a look at the 3:35 start time between the Houston Astros.
Now, just a brief. Sorry to interrupt. Just a brief comment here. We don't know who's pitching for the Astros. Some stuff has still not officially been announced, so there will be some guessing on our part on who's going to pitch. I think it could be Greinke because I know he's been injured, but he's talking about how he feels like he's good enough to pitch.
Yeah,
he'll definitely be on an innings limit. I don't think he'll go more than 3 or 4 because he is at less than 100%. I do think Greinke makes an appearance in this game.
Yeah, I think that's pretty solid money. You buying on Montas, buddy? It's going to be Frankie Montas for the Athletics.
The truth is, I can't criticize Montas because every other starter for Oakland's been terrible in this series. So it's a matter of, do I think Montas is good? Not really. Do I think he's got very, very good stuff? Yes. Is every other Oakland alternative worse? Probably. So, yeah, I'm fine with it. I don't know where Oakland's supposed to go. All their starters have been pretty underwhelming in the series, and it really hasn't even been close. Houston's killed every starter in the series.
Yeah, this has been an over machine here as well. I'm gonna hold my nose and I'm gonna play. Damn it!
I don't know if momentum matters. Do you think it does? I don't want to say carry over, but I really thought Houston blew a prime chance last game to win this. They were up 3 runs. I'm like, oh, that's the game.
Yeah, I'm aware.
Oakland scores immediately 3 more runs, and they end up. So I'm like, wait a second, Houston blew this?
Yeah.
All right. I don't know if that carries over. I just find that like an interesting spot where you can say Houston kind of blew a pretty good chance to advance as they were up 3 runs late in that game.
I think that's very important, Scott. I think that the A's now believe in themselves.
Yeah, I think it definitely helps, and Houston also had to burn some key bullpen guys.
Yes, absolutely. I'm gonna play the dog here. I don't love Frankie Montas in his 5.60 ERA this season, but I'll take the positive value. I'll take the A's. I think the A's have turned this series around. I think it goes to 5 games.
I'm gonna take the over.
You're gonna take the over 9.5.
I see 9.5 or 9 juice. Truth is, I don't really care. Both these teams have generated just a ton of runs in this series, and with the fact that it's a daytime game once again, and the fact that both of these lineups, Oakland not as much, but Houston in every game this series has scored at least 5 runs. Oakland has scored at least 5 in 2 of the 3 games. Yeah, both starting pitchers also, an injured Greinke and Montes are not exactly ideal for the situation.
Yeah,
I just see runs being scored again.
By game 4, you've got some tired bullpen arms. You've got some guys that are unavailable.
Yeah, it's not pretty. So
yeah,
I'll go with the over.
It's a situation where you play the over like that, and if you don't hit it, you're like, you know what?
I'm just going to wait until it loses. It's kind of you can make the same argument about the Tampa series with the Yankees. It's a matter of if I bet on the under, I'll feel a lot worse than losing on the over.
Yeah, I always liken it to a hot run at a craps table where you got your place bets and you keep putting more and more money on them, and you're eventually going to 7 out. But the idea is to make enough money before that happens that you don't really care when you ultimately lose.
You can fade the guy throwing the dice, but at the end of the day, if the person continues to do well, then at some point you're going to feel more comfortable at least backing the guy who's throwing the dice.
That's it. You take your best shot, and you know that you made a solid bet. So I like your overplay there, and I'll take the Athletics at plus 105. All right, now your Yankees, buddy.
I got a play today on this game, but it's more of a prop, so I can talk about this game relatively freely.
Well, that's good to know. That's
I'm just saying, so it's not like I'm going to withhold any information here.
Ryan Thompson going for the Rays. Looks like a bullpen day for the Tampa boys.
Well, he's going to be an opener. My guess is Yarbrough will probably get at least 4 or 5 innings of work, and they'll go from there.
Jordan Montgomery goes for the Yankees.
Yeah, Montgomery. Monty.
Probably going to be bullpen day there too, although not necessarily a planned one. Scott, is there anything about the Yankees to like here other than the fact that they hit the ball really well, but can they score enough?
I understand the Yankees are the Yankees and that the public will always bet the Yankees. What the hell's going on with the prices in this series? I don't get it. Yankees open up at minus 116. I still think that's high. I think Tampa should be favored in this game. Now, the Yankees get bet up to roughly minus 135, and I got no idea why. It's just a matter of, they're the Yankees. And it's just like, no, Montgomery has 1 start against the Rays this season. He has an ERA of 54.
Well, that's not good.
They have no bullpen. That's what I'm saying. That's pretty high. But you look at the bullpen, it's like, who's the long relievers? You got Sessa, you got King, and you got Nelson. Congratulations, all 3 of them pitched yesterday. I don't know what the hell they're going to do. If Montgomery goes 2 innings, 3 runs or 4 runs, and they have to pull him, whether you're going to use Garcia, who you used a day and a half ago, like you're going to use him, you're going to throw in Chad Green, who pitched yesterday. I know that Britton and Ottavino and Chapman are available late, but congratulations, you got nobody to eat up the early innings here. So I don't know what your game plan is. And Tampa, I know their lineup isn't exactly great or on paper. Arozarena has been the best hitter in the playoffs all postseason long, and they score runs. The Rays are really good at manufacturing runs by mixing and matching batters. And the issue that I have with the Yankees is even if Montgomery pitches well, do I trust the bullpen? And the answer is no. I don't think that the Yankees should be minus 130 something. And I think based on the track record of this series, I gotta lean Tampa in the over. So that's where I'm looking at. I'm assuming you agree with me.
Yeah, I'm also looking at the first 5 on this, and it's even more ridiculous. The Yankees at minus 140.
All I know is Montgomery, statistically speaking, is one of the worst first-inning pitchers in the league. He's awful in the first inning. So it would really not surprise me to see Tampa jump him early. Is it possible for him to get through the first? Sure. But ERA of 54 against a team and a guy with an ERA in the first inning, which is clearly the highest of all innings that he's had. So it's really just it's a recipe for disaster for the Yankees in this start. And I don't exactly trust Aaron Boone's judgment late in games if you need to sub pitchers in and out. What are you going to do? You're going to go back to Loaizaga? Sure. Good luck with that. I'll go with Tampa. I'll go with the over.
I think this is a sad day for your Yankees, buddy. I think they
it's a potentially sad but profitable day for me, but a sad day overall for the Yankees.
How are you going to be rooting?
Be rooting for the over. Worst case is, you kind of hedge the two and you go, well, if the Yankees win, at least they'll cash the over.
Yeah, I don't. I think you're getting tremendous value.
I think that it's ridiculous, the current price. I think you'll agree with me, even on a bullpen day. And Tampa's bullpen is still really, really good.
Yeah.
So you got Yarbrough, who's going to pitch probably 5 or 6. So they are going to be using a starter, so to speak. He's just not going to be starting the game, which is a classic Tampa maneuver. But that's why I'm not really reading into it as a full bullpen game, because you have a guy who can actually give you some length. But yeah, none of the main guys pitched yesterday. Castillo pitched yesterday briefly, but you still got Fairbanks. You still got Curtis pitched yesterday, but you know what I mean. You still got some of the key bullpen guys for Tampa available.
Those guys come out of the pen and they just throw gas.
That's what I'm saying. So just a matter of Tampa is still rested in the pen because they didn't use, I'd say, half of their main relievers in the end. You're hoping Thompson gives you 2. He had 2 scoreless innings against the Yankees earlier in the series. Then you turn it over to Yarbrough, hope he gives you about 5 or 6. And then you turn it over to your horses, and you just hope it works itself out. And the truth is that the game plan for victory is definitely a lot simpler for Tampa than it is for the Yankees in this matchup. So I'll take the underdog, and I'll take the over.
Yeah, I think the series ends today with the Yankees' prime acquisition sitting on the bench, getting ready to start tomorrow. I don't think
that's what I'm saying. I think it should. I don't know if it's a motivational aspect or anything like that, but I think Tampa's going to do whatever it can to win today so it doesn't have to face Cole tomorrow.
That's right. That's absolutely right. So Yeah, is the over 9 on autoplay at this point?
I think it has to be, right? I mean, both pitchers have concerns. Thompson, even though he's an opener and he has been pretty good so far, doesn't matter. Tampa's bullpen could implode, hypothetically. The Yankees' lineup is still very good. I know it's struggled as a whole besides Stanton ever since game 1, but the lineup can still hit the long ball well, and I think that they still have done a good job working counts, getting guys on base from walks, etc. And Tampa, they've been really good lately offensively, and Montgomery isn't very good. So I have to lean to the over.
We may get a little drop here. This may go to 8.5 because it is.
Sure. Yeah, I'll take it.
It's juiced. It juiced to the under right now at minus 120. So
I'm still gonna take the over.
Honestly, Scott, I feel like sometimes people are watching different games than I am.
Yeah, I definitely get that feeling.
I'll tell you what. I just go ahead and play Tampa Bay over 4.5 at minus 110.
That's available at plus 115 on DraftKings now if you want that.
Of course it is. Sure, sign me up for that. All right. Let's talk about this last game, Scott. This was a game that broke both of our hearts. I had
Well, I got in late. You got in early. You were telling me about it. So you actually got robbed from the Bellinger play. I
had a seventh inning play on this when the Padres were down 1 at plus 384, and Bellinger Rob Tatis just crushed the ball to dead center field. Bellinger made a legitimate home run saving catch.
I jumped in on Padres money line in the 9th inning at plus 500. Once I saw Joe Kelly warming up in the bullpen when Jansen was falling apart. So once I saw Kelly warming up, I'm like, give me 5-1. I don't care. Just give it to me.
He tried his best. He came in and worked. He walked the first 2 guys after Jansen giving up 2 runs. Kelly walks the first 2 guys and then gets Eric Hosmer, which on paper should have been the worst matchup as he had to face the 2 right-handers.
I had no faith in Hosmer in that situation.
No. As a Royals fan, again, we talked about it last night a little bit on text. Hosmer's a 260 hitter. He's going to hit you 25 home runs, 80 RBIs, and that's what he is. He's a little. He's better than average, but he's a little weak for a first baseman, and just not a guy that was seeing that breaking ball well at all.
Yeah, I know personally. Brief rant here, which I've talked about before. How long have I been talking about how Jansen always comes in the 9th inning? I still have no idea why he's closing for the Dodgers.
I know.
It has to be over a year, right?
Well, I'm sure. How long
it has to be, because I've been saying that for a long time. And how long have I been telling you that I think Joe Kelly stinks?
Well, it's not exactly neither one of those exactly hot takes.
Joe Kelly did have a 1.80 ERA this season, so people who are just blind to numbers might say this guy's a decent reliever. No, he's not. He's bad. He's not good. And after giving up the grand slam in the 10th inning against the Nationals, I figured that they would fire him into the sun. And instead, they decided to learn absolutely nothing from their previous issues. And as soon as Jansen struggles, we're going to bring in Joe Kelly. So it's just an absolute redo of I can't say it was a redo of last year because Kershaw came out of the pen and Jansen didn't pitch until the extra innings. And whatever. The point is Dave Roberts has some type of special place in his heart for Jansen and Kelly, and they're both terrible pretty much every time. And yet now Roberts is going on air saying, I have to think it over who's going to be my closer. What are you, an idiot? You've had to think it over for 3 years. He's not good. Just throw Gratterall or throw Trinan into the 9th inning and see what happens. It's really not complicated. Take Jansen out of the role, probably never use Joe Kelly ever again, and just rely on Gratterall and Trinan to get you through the 9th. Am I wrong? I feel like Gratterall should be closing every game.
I think you could make an argument for him or Trinan. Either one of them is.
They're both better than Jansen. Stop using Jansen in the 9th, and Joe Kelly is not a good pitcher. I know that he's beloved because of the Astros trolling stuff that he did earlier in the year. I get it. I know that that's funny and that he was not afraid to, do the sad emoji face to the Astros when he tried to hit 3 of them. But still, he's not good at pitching. Just stop throwing him into crunch time situations because he's going to struggle more times than not, even though he got away with it yesterday. You face 3 batters, you walk 2 of them. I don't consider that a successful outing.
Well, he stopped the bleeding. That's
I didn't want him to stop the bleeding. He was
no.
hemorrhaging, and they performed emergency surgery, and he somehow put it back together. But it was not pretty from Joe Kelly. Then again, there were some really good at bats by Tatis and Machado. Those were really, really good at bats.
Some very good takes. Some very good takes on those breaking balls. That well, especially Tatis. He wanted to do something there.
Same thing with Machado, because Machado's against a former team. He homered earlier. You had some stuff going, and he ended up walking. So I couldn't get. I really wanted Machado to swing the twig, but he walked. He got on base. I couldn't get mad at him. And then Hosmer came up. And I feel like Hosmer learned absolutely nothing from the previous two at bats and just swung it in the dirt.
I'm sorry, did you say swing the twig?
Yeah.
Oh, that's outstanding. That sounds like something from the 30s.
Patent pending.
I'll tell you, boys, he's not really swinging the twig today.
I thought that sounded pretty good, and so I thought of relaying that. But
that's outstanding. Do you make that up?
I feel like I've heard that somewhere before. If that's not a saying, it should have been a saying, but I'm going to use that from now on.
Hashtag swinging the twig.
Yeah, I think you're going to start using that from now on. But overall,
I use it for every sport. I don't care.
My brief rant is that I think Aaron Boone is still an abysmal manager as a Yankees fan. Dave Roberts still has no idea what he's doing in the bullpen. How many times does Jansen have to burn you, and yet you still say, I'm still thinking about it? What are you thinking about? He stinks. There's nothing to think about. He's been awful in the ninth inning for the last 3-4 years in the playoffs. What are we doing?
In fairness, this was sold as a brief rant, so
okay. It is a brief rant. That was my final rhetorical question for you. Am I missing something?
Probably.
Do you have any thoughts on why Jansen's still pitching in the ninth? Because I don't get it.
No, I don't. I think you can make a better case for Joe Kelly.
I don't think it matters in the series. I just think that they're going to win the series anyway because San Diego is no starting pitching at all right now. But especially now that Clevenger's officially been taken off the roster. So they have nobody. But you're looking at a situation where the Dodgers, in my opinion, are the best team in the league left. They're clearly better than the Yankees. I think they're clearly better than Tampa. But the question
the odds reflect that as the Dodgers are minus 171 favorite today without a pitcher.
Yeah. I meant to win the whole thing. So I think that's a massive issue, though, that the Dodgers are the favorites to win the whole thing. And yet when it comes to the ninth inning, if I see Jansen, I will bet the other team every time.
Yeah, I think that
because he is just an absolute liability.
I think that's a fair fade. Today you got Morahone going for the Padres, so you that's going to be a bullpen day.
Morahone hopefully gives him 3, maybe 4.
Yeah, well, okay. Yeah.
I'm saying is that the ceiling for Morahone here? 3 or 4?
I would think so. I know he pitched earlier. I was just going to take a look here.
And for the Dodgers, we both agree on the theory that Gonsolin will get the start.
Yeah, I think Dustin May is going to get some innings.
May could pitch game 3. There's definitely a possibility.
They used him as a stepladder last time.
That's why I'm assuming Gonsolin will get the start because Gonsolin hasn't pitched in the playoffs yet, right?
I don't believe so. No.
So it seems like May's kind of had this hybrid super reliever role for the Dodgers, where he can kind of start a game or he could come out of the pen and provide some massive juice to that bullpen. Meanwhile, since Gonsolin hasn't been used, I got to assume Gonsolin's going to get the start.
Yeah, and Morahone, I was mistaken that Morahone has not pitched in this series. I thought he had, but
no, I believe he pitched very, very briefly against St. Louis.
He pitched 2 games against St. Louis. He threw a total of 3 innings, 1 hit, no earned, no walks, 2 Ks. So, I think
I'm taking the Dodgers today. I can't take the Padres. It's just a matter of the Padres had a great opportunity yesterday, didn't work out. Looks like the Dodgers will just take care of business and move on. I hope I'm wrong. I find the Padres very entertaining, so I hope I'm wrong. But at the end of the day, I actually think Gonsolin's pretty good. I'll go with the Dodgers.
I'm not laying minus 177 on the Dodgers.
I don't blame you for that. It's just I know I'd link the Dodgers team total over. I was really leaning anywhere.
Trying to see if there's anything I can cook up here. We don't have a first 5 on it yet, of course, because there's no pitchers.
Yeah, a second. I see that FoxBet actually put up stuff. What line are you looking for?
First 5 on that one.
That I do not have. But I do see Dodgers team total over 5.5 at plus 110. I'll take that.
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like anything to do with that total. I would lean under, but the Dodgers can certainly break out at any time. So
There's no value in order to be found. I'll lean Dodgers because I just think they're the better team. But for the sake of
so the Padres are over 3.5.
yeah,
I'll take that. I'm sure that's
I'll tell you the juice.
Minus 130 or so.
Fox bet is at a minus 110.
Okay, I'll take that. Yeah. Okay.
Yep, that's fair.
All right, there you go. Should be again, we still got 4 games today, so enjoy it while you can. And actually, guys, this is four pretty entertaining series. They really are. There's not really a dog in the bunch, I mean, yeah, the
Atlanta one's been entertaining because you had Acuna being hit by a pitch and all this other stuff, but I'd say out of all the series so far, is that the least entertaining because, I mean, you had the least amount of runs, I guess, for game 2 in the Braves series because, I don't know, I'm looking at the other 3 series and they've been unpredictable. The Braves one just seems like one-way traffic.
Yeah, the Miami's made it entertaining for a while, but
they made it entertaining for about 4 innings, and then the Braves scored 2 to respond, made it 4-3, and I'm like, oh, Atlanta's going to win this game. They scored 6 in the 7th.
Well, and arguably it was the biggest mismatch going in, and that's kind of the way it's played out. But they've been a fun team to watch. Again, play on house money. They've had a hell of a season.
Mm-hmm. No, I'm not criticizing them for anything that's happened in the series. I'm just acknowledging that Miami also hasn't scored in. How long has it been? About 14 innings.
Yeah, something in that neighborhood.
I'm just throwing it out there.
Yeah, they've definitely
they've hit a wall offensively.
Yeah, they've gone in the tank. Of course, they've.
Is that a fish pun?
Well, they've gone. No, that's pretty good though. But no, they've got us pretty good pitching though. They really have.
Yeah.
They ran into Ian Anderson yesterday. And
yeah, the Braves bullpen has been very good though, so I'll give them props.
Yep, absolutely. So, cool. All right, bud. That's our baseball show for today. As always, if you guys want to find out any more information, a little deeper dive into all of these games, feel free to stop by winnersandwhiners.com because why? It's free. It's always free. It's the best information you're going to find on the web anywhere about each individual game. So make sure you stop by. Check out the deep dives over there with the boys at winnersandwhiners.com. And make sure you check it out. Make sure you give us a listen each and every day. Give us the like for the video if you dig what we're doing. And, of course, consider subscribing to our YouTube channel along with about 8,000 of your closest friends. We do this each and every day on Today in Sports Betting. So for myself, for Scott Reichel, for all of us over here at Winners and Whiners, we appreciate you watching. Hope every one of those tickets in your pocket today turns into cash money back at the window. We'll see you guys tomorrow. And actually, if you hang around, you'll see us on the next video. We'll be talking a little NFL. But for now, this is it for baseball on Today in Sports Betting. Take care, everybody.